Everyone, welcome to Plants and Politics. So the first January 6th trial has concluded, and Guy Reffitt of Texas was found guilty on all charges. That was after less than 4 hours of deliberation by the jury. The jury of his peers determined that 49-year-old 3%er member Guy Reffitt is guilty of obstructing an official proceeding, civil disorder, transporting an illegal weapon to D.C., entering a restricted building or grounds with a deadly or dangerous weapon, and tampering with witnesses. So prosecutors made the last-minute decision to forego the testimony of his eldest daughter. You may recall his son had testified, and they were supposed to call his eldest daughter. So the final witnesses for the prosecution were just police officers who testified that although Reffitt didn't make explicit threats, quote, it was implied. Reffitt allegedly told a sergeant named DeCamp, quote, "You can't stop us all." And DeCamp said that he took that as a threat. DeCamp testified also that Reffitt refused his orders to get back, and he explained that the rest of the crowd was cutting through a tarp on the inaugural scaffolding with knives. Really? I thought they didn't have any weapons. I mean, that's what we keep hearing, right? There were actually no weapons. That's really strange. Anyway, DeCamp went on to say, quote, "I was the only officer standing between this entire crowd and the podium." DeCamp also then walked the jury through a video of his interaction with Reffitt, and he was explaining that some of the most high-profile defendants were able to gain access to the Capitol because of Reffitt's actions. He explained that due to Reffitt's aggression, the QAnon shaman, and then also one of the Proud Boys members, Dominic Pizzola, they were able to reach the building because of Reffitt. And remember, Pizzola was the first person to use a stolen riot shield to smash a Capitol window. And that literally allowed hundreds to thousands of insurrectionists to pour into the building and terrorize the people in there. You know, he smashed the window, people climbed through that window, and then they went around opening doors to allow other people in, more people in. So DeCamp also testified that after the mob was able to surge forward, they pinned his arms back. Then they dismantled his pepper ball launcher. And he says that they sprayed him in the face with WD-40 or some kind of brake cleaner. And then he said that someone else hit him with bear spray. So they completely took him out of commission for a while. Sergeant Matthew Flood also testified in the final days, and he said that every time Reffitt stepped forward, the crowd would fill in behind him. And Flood told the jury, quote, "It was just very dangerous. There's only a few of us there. We're definitely outnumbered. They were just loud, yelling obscenities. Fuck you, traitor, let us in. I thought the crowd was going to surge forward and it was going to turn into a hand-to-hand battle. We were being overwhelmed." So in closing arguments, the prosecutor showed the jury more of Reffitt's GoPro video in which he said that he wanted to, quote, "overthrow constitutionally corrupt lawmakers." And he stated, quote, "I'm taking the Capitol with everyone else. I think we have the numbers to make it happen." Well, Reffitt's attorney, he called no witnesses during the entire trial. And he continued to push basically his only arguments that, you know, Reffitt never entered the building. He didn't commit any acts of violence. He didn't damage any property. He did, however, admit that Reffitt was guilty of a misdemeanor crime of crossing a police line. Then he tried to also, again, circle back and convince the jury again that perhaps Reffitt's GoPro videos were edited. He seriously kept trying to push this whole idea of the deep fake videos. And he said that the testimony against Reffitt, he called it self-serving and politically motivated. And that's a tough case to make, considering that one of the people who testified against Reffitt was his own son. So this verdict has to send a chill up the spines of every January 6th defendant who's now awaiting trial, who said, "Oh, no, I don't want to take a plea deal. I want to go to trial." Now, here's the caveat to that. Just today, U.S. District Judge Carl Nichols, he made a monumental decision in the case against January 6 defendant Garrett Miller. His decision could impact hundreds of January 6 cases, and it could also affect Reffitt's sentencing, because Nichols dismissed the charge of obstructing an official proceeding in a 29-page opinion piece, and he called that charge a catch-all. The statute for that charge states, quote, "Whoever corruptly obstructs, influences, or impedes any official proceeding." However, Nichols says that that passage, that definition, must be interpreted by and taken in context of a preceding subsection, which states that the defendant must, quote, "have taken some action with respect to a document, record, or other object in order to corruptly obstruct, impede, or influence an official proceeding." Of course, it goes without saying that Nichols is a Trump appointee. He also clerked for scum of the earth Justice Clarence Thomas. So, does that have something to do with it? And it's likely that this matter is now going to be brought before an appeals court. It could even make its way all the way to the Supreme Court. How is that going to go with, Kavanaugh and Amy Coney Barrett? But here's the deal. According to experts, other Washington judges don't have to abide by Nichols' ruling. In fact, there were 7 other judges who have already reviewed this matter and ruled on it, and they disagree with Nichols' assessment. They say, no, this absolutely can be brought as a charge against these people. They did, in fact, obstruct an official proceeding. So the final decision on this issue could very well, it may throw hundreds of cases into turmoil. It's going to definitely influence how other defendants deal with the offers that they're being given. They might be reticent to take plea deals now. And possibly most important, this could mean that Trump walks. He could totally get away with inciting the mob that day and causing them to obstruct the official proceedings. He is looking at potentially, based on what the January 6th Select Committee has said, they are considering referring him to the DOJ for obstructing an official proceeding. So now what happens with that? And Reffitt is going to be sentenced soon. So we're going to have to hold our breath to see if, Judge Friedrich, another Trump appointee, is going to allow his conviction on that charge to stand, or if she's going to toss it. That one crime alone comes with a maximum sentence of up to 20 years. However, I should say, even without that one charge, even if she tosses that, Reffitt still could be facing decades in prison because, the fact is he had a weapon with him when he committed his crime. So that adds to the sentencing. Now, do I think that Friedrich is going to give him decades in prison? No. Based on her other sentences of other January 6 defendants, no. I don't believe at all that she's going to give him anywhere near that. So I will definitely keep you guys posted on this, but this is absolutely great news. It shows that even going before 12 of his peers, regardless of what their political leanings were, they all found him guilty. So Pauline Bauer, Hostetter here in California, they're all rolling the dice. They're all taking their chances and going to trial. We'll see how that works out for them. So anyway, guys, I'll keep you posted. Thanks so much for watching and listening. Take care. I'll talk with you soon.